Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Apita Evilia Rahayu. I am from class 2A and I will present summary of language material evaluation and development. Okay, and this is the material that I will present. Syllabus, RPP, and curriculum. Curriculum change and dynamic of curriculum development 2013. Analysis of English textbook material. Evaluation and assessment. True and false. Multiple choice and essay. Approach, technique, and method in teaching. Okay, the first material about definition of syllabus, RPP, and curriculum. Syllabus. Syllabus is a document which consists essentially of lists. This list specifies all the things that are to be taught in the course. According Penny UR. RPP. The lesson plan or RPP is a plan that describes the procedure and organization of learning to achieve a basic competence set out in the content standard and outlined in the syllabus according Kunandar. And curriculum. Curriculum is a very general concept which involves consideration of the whole complex of philosophical, social, and administrative factors which contribute to the planning of an education program. According Noonan, this is component of syllabus and RPP. For syllabus, number one, identity, namely the identity of subject, level of school, class, semester, and number of meeting. Number two, core competence is the level of ability to achieve graduate competency standard that student must have at each grade level or program, which is the basic for basic competence development. Number three, basic competence is the ability to achieve core competencies that student must acquire through learning. And number four, learning activities or main material are the point of learning material that must be studied by students as a mean of achieving competence and which will be assessed using assessment instrument arranged based on indicator of learning achievement. And number five, learning activities. Learning activities in developing the 2013 curriculum syllabus can be done with a scientific approach. In addition, through various learning models and strategies adjusted to the characteristic of the subject and the competence that will be achieved in the learning. Number six, time location, which is an estimate of how long it takes students to study the material that has been determined. And number seven, learning resources, references or literature used in teaching. These learning resources in need so that the preparation of the syllabus is avoided from misconception, and learning resources are defined as information that the presenter and story in various forms of media which can assist students in learning as an embodiment of the curriculum. And component of RPP, number one, subject identity, includes school identity, subject class, semester, time location, and material or theme. Number two, core competence. Core competence is the level of ability to achieve graduate competence standard that student must have at each class or program level, which is the basic for basic competence development. Core competencies include four dimensions that reflect spiritual attitude, social attitude, knowledge, and skill. And basic competence Basic competence is a number of ability that students must master in certain subject as a reference for the preparation of competency indicator. Number four, competency achievement indicator. This is competency indicator are behavior that can be measured or observed to show the achievement of certain basic competencies that become references for subject assessment. Number five, learning objectivities. Learning objectivities describe the process and learning outcomes that are expected to be achieved by students in accordance with basic competencies. And number 5, learning teaching material. Teaching material contain relevant fact, concept, principle, and procedure, and are written in the form of concept map in accordance with the formulation of the competency attainment indicator. And number 7, time allocation. Time allocation is determined according to the need for achieving a basic competence and learning load. And next, learning method. Learning method is used by the teacher to create an atmosphere of learning and the learning process so that the student achieve basic competencies or predetermined indicator. And number 9, learning activities. Learning activities are defined into preliminary, core and closing activities. And assessment of learning outcomes. Uh, this is the learning outcomes assessment procedure and instrument are adjusted to the competency achievement indicator and refer to the assessment standard. And the last, media, tools, material, and learning resources. This is determination of learning resources is based on core competencies, basic competencies, teaching material, learning activities, and indicator of competencies achievement. This is example of a syllabus. You can see, and this is example of lesson plan or RPP. You can see. Okay, and next material about curriculum change and dynamic of curriculum development 2013. Okay, in Indonesia, there have been several curriculum change. The first, colonial era, order era, new order era, and the last, reform era. The 2013 curriculum was improved in 2016 in the KEKD section. The 2013 curriculum is currently a national applicable curriculum. There is no new curriculum policy at this time, but strengthening curriculum implementation through the National Literacy Movement (PKK) and strengthening learning and assessment by education units. And next material about analysis of English textbook material. These books contain 13 chapters, including first semester and second semester. And these books include 4 language skills, namely listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And this is first semester, chapter 1, it's English time. Chapter 2, we can do it and we will do it. Chapter 3, we know what to do. Chapter 4, come to my birthday please. Chapter 5, I'm so happy for you. Chapter 6, our busy roads. Chapter 7, my uncle is zookeeper. Chapter 8, what are you doing? Chapter 9, bigger is not always better. Chapter 10, when I was a child. Chapter 11, yes, we made it. Chapter 12, don't forget it, please. Chapter 13, we got a lot of histories. Next material about evaluation and assessment. Evaluation is a process that critically examines a program. It involves collecting and analyzing information about a program activities, characteristics, and outcomes. Its purpose is to make judgment about a program, to improve its effectiveness and or to inform programming decision. Assessment source may be both subjective, self-assessment checklist, and objective pretest. Assessment may be a structured interview or informal question during lecture. Assessment is classroom research to provide useful feedback for the improvement of teaching and learning. Assessment is feedback from the student to the instructor about the student learning. And assessment and evaluation are words closely enough related to be used in defining each other. However, there are differences in educational assessment and evaluation process. When assessment, student, instructor gather, summarize, and interpret that data to determine which strategies to implement to further enhance the learning experience. Okay, next, material about true and false, multiple choice, and essay. True-false tests contain statements that the student mark as being either true or false. In order to qualify as true, all parts of the statement must be true. In general, true-false tests check your knowledge of fact. Again, general study skill and best practice apply to studying for true and false tests. And multiple choice tests usually consist of a question or statement to which you respond by selecting to the best answer from among a number of choices. Multiple choice tests typically test what you know, whether or not you understand, comprehension, and your ability to apply what you have learned application. Some questions might assess your ability to analyze or evaluate information, but this kind of questions are difficult to write, so they aren't common on multiple choice exam. And for the last essay, essay, essay is a form of subjective test, which is a kind of learning progress test that requires an answer that are discussion or description of word. And essay test challenge student to come up with key source idea and put them into your own word. Okay, and this is the last material about approach, technique, and method in teaching. Approach in teaching, it is a set of principles, beliefs, or ideas about the nature of learning which is translated into the classroom. An approach is a way of looking at teaching and learning. Underlying any language teaching approach is a theoretical view of what language is and of how it can be learned. An approach gives rise to method, to way of teaching something, which use classroom activities or techniques to help learner learn. And technique in teaching is implementation that which actually take place in a classroom. It is a particularly trick procedure to accomplish an immediate objective. It must be consistent with the method and harmony with approach as well. And method in teaching is a systematic and orderly process carried out by teacher or educator in conveying material to their student. It is very important for an educator to recognize method in learning to the student, feel more enthusiastic when participating in learning in the classroom. And this is criteria of good evaluation. The first, accurate and ambiguous. Number two, direct and oriented. Number three, measurable and consistently. And number four, understandable. Okay everyone, I think that's enough for me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.